Hello, everyone. In continuation to our uh, topic, that is App Engine Studio, today we will go through very interesting module of ServiceNow called REST API. All have some understanding of REST API, a very popular term in technology in today's world, right? So if one system interact with other system, generally they use the REST API to interact. So this is nothing specific to ServiceNow only, but ServiceNow provide this feature in very right way, I can say. So let us go through that. If you want to explore what the REST API is and how can we see it in ServiceNow world, you can go to a model called REST API Explorer, and this will give you all the way to interact with the different type of API, right? So if you see it having the namespace, it having the type of API. So let's suppose, for example, we have a table API. So with this, you can fetch record from any table you can create or you can insert via the REST API. Let us suppose I want to fetch all the incident available in my system. I can simply choose table as incident, and the moment I hit the endpoint, it will able to respond me with the incident available in the system, right? Having said that, today we are not going to understand what is the REST API Explorer, uh, but our intention would be to create our own REST API, and that once we create, we can see how we can use it using the Explorer. This will be kind of a technical session where the pre-assumption is that you have some understanding of what the REST API is, right? So let us go and create a REST API for our need. The use case what we're trying to solve today is the if you follow my videos, we are developing a leave management system, basically using the App Engine Studio of ServiceNow. So if you are not following the sequence, I would recommend to start from the first video of the series. Uh, but having said that, this of course is a separate module, and that you can use it for generic purpose as well. So using the REST API, we'll try to create one our own scripted REST API, right? With this model, it giving you control to create your own REST API. We'll see that. Let us click on new. All right. So we are trying to create this API to fetch the leaves applied for certain employee, right? So we have a table for leave management where it records all the leaves applied by the employee, and this API we are creating to get the leaves applied by the logged in user, right? And once we get the API ready, we can integrate it at different places that we can see in the subsequent sessions. Let us create name as a fetch leaves. Yeah. So now the API require default ACLs. So what is ACL basically? You want to restrict the user, right? You want to maintain the security for your REST API, that it's not that anybody in the world can consume the API that you create. So you want to protect it from the unauthenticated or unauthorized access. So to do that, ServiceNow having a model called access control. Using that only, ServiceNow protect all your data in different table or different modules. So we'll understand that. Before we understand what ACL we need for this REST API, thing you have to do it is your admin will not have a security admin role. So you should go to user, click on elevate role, and then you must check this checkbox and click on update. Then only admin will have a access to create or manipulate the ACL available in the system. Now you can go to access control, that basically the module ACL in ServiceNow system, and let us create something new that needed for our own uh, scripted REST API. So what do we need? We don't want any extra layer of security. Basically we need it. We want to create ACL so that only logged in user is able to fetch our endpoint, right? So the type will be the REST API, REST endpoint, and the operation will be automatically coming as execute. Now, what we want is protect leave fetching API, something like that. You can give any name. Uh, now, yeah. So this is the what kind of role you want to give or all. There can be many way to protect it, but what I want is we want to make sure that only user is authenticated. Yeah, user is authenticated. So if user is authenticated means if user is logged in, we are fine. We are not checking any extra thing for our endpoint. So let us submit it and uh, just save the name that API. Okay. So again, attribute is like authenticated. I think we have it something like that. User is authenticated. That one that we are choosing. Click on submit. Our ACI is ready now. Now you go to scripted REST API and here just put this API that you just did create protect leaf fetching API and submit. Your scripted REST API is ready now. So I should have saved, but yeah, anyway, let us again open the one that you are creating leaf fetching API. Oh, sorry, this is the ACL. Let's go to our REST endpoint now uh, to see what we were creating. So our API was nothing but something called leave fetching API. Let us go and search. We have a fetch leaves, right? So this is the one that we were creating. All right. So our scripted REST API module is ready now. Now from this, we have to create separate endpoint, right? That will be coming as part of resources. So let's go to resources, click on new. So this is the endpoint that will be used in Explorer or even when we try to integrate with the any external systems. So we'll give it like fetch my leaves. This is my endpoint. Fetch my leaves, right? Remember it. This will be endpoint that we will be using it. So my endpoint path will be ending with fetch my leaves, and here you can give the name as a fetch my leaves. All right. So type will be get because we are trying to fetch the uh, leaves, nothing more. Here we have to write. So what will be our code for that? So if you see all our record, all our leave application is available in this particular table, right? So our table will be this one. Now, if you are following the video or if you already know some kind of scripting in the ServiceNow world, you must be knowing that very easy way to fetch the record from the table. But here what we need to fetch for the logged in user. So how to get logged in user in ServiceNow server side scripting? Again, I repeat, this is server side scripting because REST API does not sit with the client system, right? It is with the ServiceNow. So here we have a very simple method to fetch the logged in user using the object called GS. So we'll create one record where user ID equal to gs dot, remember the gs dot get user ID. That method will give you the logged in user. So get user ID. Perfect. So we got the user ID available, that is the logged in one. Now with the help of that, let us create one object for our table called leave management, right? So if you know, there is something called glide record that available across the server side. We can give the table name here, and table name is this, right? So this object is ready now. Using this glide object, you know that we have a filtration. So we can add gr dot add query. So add query will filter the record from this table. So what will be our filter? As I'm telling you, we want to filter based on the employee. Employee will be your logged user. So employee, you can filter with any number of column will be my user ID. So that is my filtration. My filter is ready. Now next we have to fetch the record. So to query the table, gr is having a method called gr.query. So now gr object is pointing to your database. Sorry, if you know the simple SQL, it's a pointer to your record. Now a loop, because there can be a multiple record for that particular imply, so it has to go for a loop. While gr is a pointer, as I told, gr dot next generally will iterate through all the record of the table. I'm not putting a pause here because this is very generic script that you uh, write in day-to-day basis if you are using ServiceNow. Now here is a point. So So what will we do? We are not just fetching for showing somewhere, right? We are developing a REST endpoint. So REST endpoint generally any GET request should return a JSON, right? So JSON response should be going as a end result, correct? So what we'll do is will because it's a multiple records can be possible. Let us create one array in JavaScript. To create an array, there is way a syntax would be like, let's suppose our result is an array, and that array will be nothing but a JavaScript simple array. So result is blank at this moment, but when we get a result, we'll try to push all the detail into our array. I'll recommend that if you get question, please keep on repeating this section so that in future, if you develop any REST endpoint, we'll have clarity on this, right? So result dot push is the method that generally will create and will try to push the records uh, into this array as per the loop iteration, right? So result dot push, very simple. And within that, we have to create what? A JSON, right? So this must be a JSON kind of response. We are adding JSON key and value. So first, so in the leave management system, what is our first key would be? If you see, our key would be uh, implied, of course. So let's return imply also better. So we'll put imply. This is my key, and value will be nothing but a gr dot get value of imply. So this is the table column, and that is my table column for imply. What next we want? We want the leave type, right? So second would be our leave type. This is the key of the field. It will return the JSON in the same way. Leave type will be gr dot get value, and the column name for leave type is definitely a leave type, and that I am putting. Why it is showing the error? Okay, yeah. So JSON is like we have to give a different way with the help of comma. So multiple key and value pair. Next, what we want is the status of the leave also we want, right? Status, start date, end date. These are all we need. Leave uh, or simply status. Okay. I would recommend you to repeat again and again this section. So let's make some gap after this so that it will have a key value pair properly visible. gr dot get value, and the field name is nothing but a status. So our pre ready next is start date gr dot get value, and will be start date. All right, sorry, semicolon. Last will be our end date. So this is my all the JSON that I need from the table. So that's all for this particular uh, requirement, right? Now our result array is ready, correct? So this result has to be going as part of response. So this is not normal function, right? This is a REST endpoint. So we have an object called response that should have the body nothing but our result. So result is array. So we are returning array of our JSON. So this is all the REST API that we need. Just have a look again and again because this is syntax that we'll try to follow. All right, our API is ready. Okay, so we are doing some mistake somewhere. Of course, that we can't put semicolon. It's just our normal habit where we put. But yeah, done. Our REST API is ready. And this is our resource X path. Got it? Under the API, resource path is this one. So this will be available in our uh, REST API Explorer. So this is our table record. Now, if I go to REST API Explorer module, you will see that API will be added over there. So if I go to REST API Explorer, what is our API? Just see that our API nothing but a under the X underscore leave 0 fetch leaves, right? This is our namespace, right? Our application, and we have only one API fetch leaves. So let's go and so if I send, it should return me the leave available. So this is returning, right? So if you see who is logged in, it's system administrator, and for system administrator, there is only one leave applied, and that only coming here in the response, right? Applied personal 24 start date and 28 is the end date. So absolutely, it's working fine. Now, what if I want to impersonate as an employee, because employee also had one leave, just to test, if I search as employee, if you see that we do not see the module itself, REST API Explorer. So employee will not able to fetch the endpoint here. So this is not there. So what generally we should do, we have to add one role called REST API Explorer user, then only user will be able to uh, use the module called REST. I'll just quickly do this, and then we can test with the employee also whether the other leave is coming or not. So we have something called employee user. So this user is a type test employee. So we'll try to add one role for REST API Explorer. Simply you can go to roles and click on edit, and we have a role called REST API Explorer. Done. Save. Now if I impersonate back as uh, test employee, I should be able to. I'm just waiting for the call to save. So if it is done, if I impersonate back, I should able to get that. So our employee have a and it also has one leave. So we'll see that once the employee use the module, they see only applied by employee. So let's go to REST API Explorer. Uh, Once it is load, let's go to our module. That is nothing but a leave management. Only once API, once we develop multiple, we can fetch it. But yeah, for this one, if you click on send, you should able to see personal 21 24. Start date is 21 and date is 24. Perfectly working even for the employee. So we develop point uh, that fetches the data from certain table with some filtration. So this endpoint was developed for our own table under our own application called Live application. So this API will try to integrate in different places, but for for today, that's all. How to create REST API, our own scripted endpoint, and how to use it using the REST API Explorer. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.